Couple of old storage guys talking. So, Alan, you've been all over this industry. You were on the software side for a while. You were in the sort of the array side for a while, sort of the traditional array side for a while, right? Now you're on the Dell side of things. You've seen all sides of this industry. Where do you see things going right now?
I suppose that is true, Curtis. I have been in this business an astonishingly long time. I'm not sure that's an overall good reflection of my career, but there you go. So what's interesting is that the concept of storage as such is beginning to fade as things sort of come together. You're beginning to see both convergence and more compute-centric architectures. When I look at kind of the three big trends, and I'll stick to storage just to stay on point here. Yeah. That are going on. The three things that I really see changing the landscape is you're seeing a decline in the traditional storage market, and that's across kind of all vendors and all buyers. And that's coupled with a more of a movement toward internal storage, direct attach, and software defined, which is really the second big trend, right? So we see a big movement towards workload-specific, software-defined initiatives. And the third thing that we see happening is a real movement towards solid state or flash, right? And that's really changing the way data centers look, how big they are, what the power and cooling profile is, and of course the performance of the applications. And so we think about those three things pretty much all the time as we're looking at design decisions, customer conversations, and how that fits back to a solution.
Yeah, it reminds me of that the joke of everything that's centralized, decentralized, everything that's decentralized, centralized, and repeat is necessary until the consultant is rich. But we definitely did that with the storage industry, right? We took everything out of the server and put it into a centralized array with networking, right? And now we're bringing it back into the server for many people, right? Especially with the hyper-converged market. How do you see that sort of playing a part in this?
Well, there's folks who say that type of model ends up eating everything. I actually don't think that's the case. I think that you're going to end up with a world where the traditional scale-up type of architectures, people are going to discover that actually is an appropriate architecture for a pretty good number of workloads. I'll use the example of unstructured data, where you certainly don't want to have a correlation between compute and capacity, where every time I add capacity, I've got to add compute. It's just not economically efficient. But the other side of that is, there are quite a large number of workloads that are very appropriate for hyperconverged or some other flavor of software-defined. VDI is sort of the classic example, but I think you can also point to general pools of virtualized servers where people want to do very rapid provisioning and deprovisioning. I think you can also point to some of the classic big data environments where you've got map reducing. You really do want that correlation between compute and capacity. And so I think what you're going to see in the data center is these two worlds existing side by side. And management and interoperability between the two is going to become quite important. I don't know that things eventually get to this nice clean box where everything is in a single paradigm. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. Do you think that other side, is that where the traditional array continues to play a role, or does that still become a software-defined storage box in front of a software-defined compute and networking box?
I think that the traditional array does play a role there, although I think the definition of what a traditional array is probably changes. I mean, just start with what's going on in flash. I mentioned this earlier. Think about the fact that we're going to have 32 terabyte SSDs before very long. And when you put that combined with data reduction, you're looking at petabytes in that amount of space. That's very different looking than what traditional arrays look like today. The density, the footprint is just a very different beast. As far as the software-defined component, we've already made that move toward an x86 architecture across our array stack. So, to some degree, we are software-defined. I mean, we do run on a standard Dell server. It's a specialized use case, and we sell it in a specialized configuration. But at the end of the day, it's x86 code, and that could be, we could instantiate that in a number of ways. So I think the point might actually be an academic one.
Hope you enjoyed that interview with my old friend Alan Atkinson from Dell. Make sure you check out our other videos on the channel and subscribe while you're at it. Thanks for watching.